Now we're recording.
Outline.
Okay.
My name is Catherine Staniszewski, and today I'm going to be speaking to you all about the negative effects that screen time is having on our children. The use of screens, whether it be in the form of a TV, television, or tablet, between ages week 1 to age 3 can be incredibly detrimental to these children as it's during the critical period of their development. Have you ever seen a child attempt to swipe or poke a poster on the wall? They think it's going to move. They think it's real. Although it may be cute at first, it's indicative of the amount of screen time to which the child has been exposed. As a former waitress, I've also witnessed countless occasions where an entire family will make it through a meal without speaking a word because they're all looking at their screens. They don't do anything, they don't speak to each other, they barely look up to order their food. Because they're all glued to their screens, children included, again, there's no communication, and the children generally have a very hard time making eye contact or doing simple commands as ordering what they would like to eat or drink. This is not a testament to a shy child, but a clear representation of the child's inability to communicate effectively with the real world without the screen in front of them. The fact of the matter is that too much screen time is detrimental to our children. It's been proven through multiple studies to cause delayed cognitive development if experienced, again, during the critical period, ages 1 week to 3 years of age. My niece, or personally, I have experienced the repercussions of screen time through my niece, Aubrey. She cannot hold a conversation without diverting to her phone or looking at the TV or using her tablet in front of her for more than about 5 minutes. This creates a real issue when we take family trips to the beach, where she can't use her screens. She does not know how to entertain herself without them, and I don't know about you all, but I could always find something to do at the beach when I was a child. Excess screen time can lead to delayed cognitive functioning, trouble socializing and making friends, and a need for an instant gratification throughout all facets of life. Delayed cognitive development basically means that the child will not hit their expected milestones while interacting with the rest of the world. Even with educational programs and good intentions of the parents, they need to be aware of the unintentional permanent damage they may be doing by causing their small child's still developing brain. One of the most important developments during a child's critical period is the development of the frontal lobe. The frontal lobe is responsible for receiving and processing stimuli. So all of the bright colors and the loud noises coming from the tablets is too much for their brain to handle at one time. They're not mature enough, they haven't developed enough to be able to handle all the stimuli coming at them, thereby forcing their brains to process so many things at once. They're missing vital steps in the problem solving and cognitive development facets that are appropriate for their age. This also affects their ability to communicate, focus, listen, and can lead to ADHD. It has not been proven, but there are many, many trials taking place that directly correlate excess screen time with ADHD, which has been a rising problem within the past 10 years, about the time when all of the screens became available to the youth. Another way that children are being affected by the excess use of screens is their ability to socialize and make friends. On a basic level, when the child interacts with the screen for most of the day, they don't know how to interact with a real human anymore. This makes it hard to play sports, go to school, or even make friends at daycare, and do any activities without involving a screen. The social skills are also developed by the limbic system in the frontal lobe, and can be delayed or permanently damaged by excess screen time. In turn, the limbic system also is in charge of our emotions and ability to decode social interactions. Think about how boring a conversation would be, or how interpretations would be different if you couldn't understand body language or tone of voice or inflection. These are incredibly important, almost as important as being able to interpret the words themselves. People often say something based on the inflection of their tone of voice. You can perceive the underlying sarcasm or humor, things which our society is based on, or even the seriousness of a statement. Without the ability to read the room, there is a serious breakdown in communication that occurs and can be perceived as awkward and uncomfortable for everyone involved. My final argument for limited screen time for children stems from the entitlement of instant gratification that occurs. On a tablet or a smartphone or whatever screen is being used, all actions have an immediate effect. You push a button, swipe a certain direction, something happens. It's irrelevant as to what the something is, but there is an immediate response from the device. making it harder for these children to exhibit patience when faced with actual dilemmas in the real world. Not everything has an immediate response. In turn, the stimuli coming from the screen elicits an immediate response from the child. They are happy or sad, or they perceive something from the screen that makes them feel a certain way. This immediate response experienced by the child has been compared to that similar of a drug addict because the neurotransmitter dopamine is released when you experience happiness, which is a drastic correlation, but a correlation nonetheless. Although I'm not completely opposed to screen time for children in small amounts, I think that parents need to be aware of the incredibly negative repercussions that overexposing their children can have and using the almighty screen as a babysitter. Delayed cognitive development, trouble socializing and making friends, and a need for instant gratification, just to name a few. If you have a small child, I highly recommend monitoring and reducing their screen time as well as monitoring their cognitive and social development. My opinions on this matter are based on the article, What Screen Time Can Really Do to Kids' Brains by Dr. Liraz Margalit, which states that the bottom line is to power off regularly to help your children understand the clear boundaries between the virtual world and the real one, and I could not agree more.